What's up, guys? This is RWBY Universe. This is going to be episode 3 of RWBY Volume 6. Happy to finally get back into this series and finally able to enjoy it the best way I possibly can just by watching it when it comes out. And with this, I'm caught up, depending on how long copyright takes for them to take this out. Or episode 4 is already out right now, and I watched that too. Who knows? I don't know. I'm part of the past where I just have this episode. So let's get started immediately. The previous episode was great, but I'll talk about it during the intro bit. Open this full screen. Let's go. Oh, all right. Now, as this is going down, I'm really impressed with this volume so far. And it's only been 3 episodes. First episode, you already got a pretty great action sequence, shutting up all the people who said there weren't that many good action sequences in Volume 5. Take that much. This one opens up with something great, and now we're already getting like true conflict between the cast. And due to the intro, I thought we would spend more time on the train, but definitely wrong about that and going straight into story bits and lore. And then we're gonna get the inception of Salem, which is gonna be great. Definitely fun. And Miss Mysterious over here is Cinder. Good job hiding her until episode 2. But I knew by that sword she had to be like, I knew I saw that sword before, but it was her. So Salem. It's time for us to see this after everything goes down. John's gonna get pissed. Now, as for like everything that's going on, I can't wait to know the inception of Salem. Because one thing I need to know about Salem is anything about Salem. That was one of my major things throughout the course of this series. Just like Salem's this threatening figure, but what is she? Let's do this, please.
Locked away by her cruel father, Salem was a girl who desired but one thing: freedom.
Oh.
She lived in a time when kings and their kingdoms were plentiful, when men and women were capable of greatness, and magic was a gift from the gods that all could wield. And yet there she sat within her tower.
Phenomenal cosmic power!
Until one day, a legendary hero came to brave the challenges within the tower's wall.
Oz!
The people of the lands knew him as Ozma.
Ozma.
Unlike those who had come before, this warrior was not driven by the prize of the young maiden's hand. He fought only for righteousness, and his pure heart and courageous soul prevailed.
And it was so awesome, people just died when he came.
They escaped the wretched fortress. And yet, something bound them together.
They're really proud of this one.
Ozma had been ready to give his life for justice countless times, but now saw a woman worth saving it for. And Salem, to her surprise, found her freedom not in the outside world she had yearned for, but in the eyes of the man that had saved her.
So, where should we go now?
Anywhere. We're free.
Wherever you'd like.
There you go.
The two fell deeply in love, planned adventures around the world.
And then everything changed.
Happily ever after.
Ha! Is what I would say if it happened, but it didn't.
Or at least, that's what should have been.
But here's the thing, in real life,
The
the story still
infallible
goes.
hero of legend fell ill,
Really?
and where all of the beasts and blades of the world had fallen short, a single sickness prevailed.
That's all it takes. Oh. I'm getting part 8 flashbacks.
Gods let this happen.
The gods, brothers of light and darkness, creation and destruction. Salem
Ladybugs
prayed they would
and
see
cats.
the injustice that had befallen her love and make things right. The domain of light was a sacred place. It was here the elder brother dwelled beside his fountain of life and creation. It was here where mankind would fall to ruin.
Oh. Oh, it is due to ambition, isn't it? And then it just went south. Oh, Christ. Oh, man. Oh, We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Not... What? Hello? Oberon? Is that you, buddy? Oh, yeah. Goat's gonna have a field day with this episode.
Please bring him back to me.
Oh, no.
I understand your pain, but you demand of me that which I cannot make so.
Oh.
Life and death are part of a delicate balance.
You need to keep that balance.
So, you won't do it then?
Oh.
To disrupt the cycle of...
But that's not fair. That's not fair!
Let him rest.
Oh, man. Oh, here we go. Oh, man.
No.
I like it. It's a straight answer.
God of
No. Gonna try this again.
None dared.
Someone before you tried to talk to
knew
him.
what monstrosities emerged from his blackened pools of annihilation.
Oh.
And so you must understand the Dark Lord's surprise when he found a lone woman kneeling before him.
What do you look like? Alright, you have a creative side to you. Oh! Oh, Christ. Oh, okay.
Salem understood it well. She told him of her loss, and professed that she knew only he could answer her prayers, all while careful to make no mention of his elder.
Oh.
Rise, child, and let your faith in me be rewarded.
Oh, yeah, you got that voice. You got that voice, buddy. That's the I'm a evil voice.
Where am I? What is this? Where am I?
It's okay. Everything's going to be okay.
Delicate balance has been disrupted.
What have you done?
I have done what I please, brother. You may bask in the powers of creation, but you do not own them.
Oh.
This is not creation.
Do not lecture me.
You're in the wrong neighborhood, son.
I will do what I must to maintain order.
Oh, poor Oz.
What did you do?
Died of sickness, came back, and then died of obliteration. Jesus Christ.
Disrespect.
Ozma!
Stop.
Abiding by the rules we agreed upon.
Rules that I now see work ever in your favor. And yet the day a mortal comes to pray at my feet before your own, so do you arrive to lay your judgment upon me.
Neat. God fight! God fight!
I know we have our differences, but I have not come here with the aim to control you. The same, however, cannot be said for her. This woman came to you only after I denied her pleas. Pleas that would have disrupted the balance that you and I created. Together.
Then it seems I owe you an apology. Allow me to correct my mistake.
Oh.
You monsters! Give him back to me! Give him back!
I fought the gods and the gods won. Jesus. Very trippy.
When
Ah.
you first came to me, I did pity you. is clear now that your selfishness and arrogance have led you astray.
What did you do to me?
I have made you immortal.
Oh.
Immortal?
Oh, no.
You cannot die.
Oh, God.
You cannot be with your beloved. So
Oh.
long as this world
turns, you shall walk its face.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's the worst type of
You must
punishment.
learn the importance of life and death. Only then may you rest.
Wow.
Salem was a prisoner once again. Her fruitless attempts to reunite with Ozma eventually became nothing more than acts of spite and defiance against the gods. But perhaps the gods were not as powerful as they seemed.
Oh.
She had lied to them, turned them against one another.
They're
fallible.
fallible. There you go. That's the
If
word
she
I was
were
looking
to
for.
turn humanity against light and darkness, she could rid herself of their curse. Or at the very least, she could make them suffer. Salem traveled from one kingdom to another, telling tales of how she stole immortality from the gods, welcomed any swordsman to cut her down, and demonstrated her powers.
That's one way to do
Queens
things.
in awe, she pulled them deeper into her scheme. She painted them pictures of a time when they would no longer have to watch their loved ones wither and die, when they could claim the powers of their creators for themselves, and in turn perfect their own design. All they needed to do was destroy their old masters.
Wow.
The gods had hoped that Salem would learn from her eternal curse. And she did.
Yeah.
She learned that the hearts of men are easily swayed.
Here we go. You're about to try to kill your gods.
Who has led you down this path?
The girl you thought would learn not one thing, but another. It's like if you kill her, then you just give her what she wants. So it's like, yeah. It's like you're messing with gods.
used against me.
This is what we call the power of God. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about.
There was no greater punishment we could bestow upon you.
I'll come back. I'll tell the rest of the world of this massacre. Build a new army.
You do not understand. There is no one left. You are all that remains of humanity.
You just wiped out the planet.
This planet was a beautiful experiment, but it is merely a remnant of what it once was. We will learn from this failure. I hope that you will learn from yours.
No, you can't leave. You can't leave. Come back.
Still demanding things of your creators.
Man. These guys. Oh. And there goes the moon. Oh shit. I'd be concerned, but there's no one else left on the planet, so.
Once again, Salem was alone. She cursed the gods. She cursed the universe. She cursed everything. Everything but herself. She wandered the face of the planet, awaiting a death that would never come. Until fate led her back to the land of darkness. This was it. This had to be it. The Brothers Grimm, the pools of black that continued to give rise to horrific nightmares. If the Fountain of Life granted her immortality, then surely the pools of Grimm would finally take it away. She was wrong.
Just made it worse.
This force of pure destruction could not destroy a being of infinite life. Instead, it created a being of infinite life with a desire for pure destruction. And in time, she would find her adversary.
I still feel sorry for Oz. Dies of a sickness and died like 3 more times for good measure. It's very sad.
Ozma.
Hello.
Where am I?
Limbo.
We are between realms.
Yeah, Limbo.
I'm afraid a tragedy has befallen your home at the hands of my brother.
Yeah,
We've chosen to depart this world, but in our absence, I would like to offer you the chance to return to it.
I don't understand.
I'd be confused too, man. I get you.
Mankind is no more, yet your world remains. And in time, your kind will grow to walk its face once again. However, without our presence, they will be but a fraction of what they once were. Creation, destruction, choice, and knowledge were the ideals upon which humanity was made. Now, I leave them behind with the hope that you may learn to remake yourselves. If brought together, these 4 relics will summon my brother and I back to your world.
Ooh.
And humanity will be judged.
Oh.
If your kind has learned to live in harmony with one another and set aside their differences, then we shall once again live among you, and humanity will be made whole again. But if your kind is unchanged, if you demand our blessings while still fighting amongst yourselves, then man will be found irredeemable.
And I
your
just...
world will be wiped from existence. Until your task is complete, you will reincarnate, but in a manner that ensures you are never alone.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, but that world just isn't as dear to me without her.
Trust me, she's there.
If I may, I'd rather return to the afterlife to see Salem.
You will not find her there.
She's
You mean she isn't gone?
Salem lives. But
About
the one
that.
you hold dear in your memories is gone. Heed this warning. Where you seek comfort, you will only find pain. So, will you...
I'll do it.
Wow. Wow, that was
Very
fast.
well.
He's like, oh, well, that was
Our
fast.
creation rests within your hands.
It's like, love is the weirdest thing we created. Here you go.
And so, Ozma was reborn.
Wow.
Where am I?
Here we go. Luckily, you already had skill with a sword.
Thank you. Please, tell me your name. Who are you?
Osrico. Osvania?
He didn't know.
Ozma had found himself in a world completely unfamiliar to him. Cities looked different. Creatures known as the Faunus bore fangs and claws and were locked away in cages. And without the blessing of the gods, no one could perform magic like mankind was once capable of.
They had to cheat.
No one but himself.
Kind of like in Final Fantasy 15, actually.
Known as the Witch. During his years of travel, he heard the same frightened whispers that spoke of a terrifying sorceress who commanded dark powers in the wilds among the beasts and monsters. Ozma was convinced that this witch was Salem, and decided he needed to see what she had become.
Let's see how this goes. It definitely doesn't work, obviously, so, can't wait to see how it didn't work. Hello.
Call it magic, or call it something stronger. But in that moment, the two knew exactly who it was that stood before them.
Wow.
What do we do now?
Whatever we like.
As Salem and Ozma recounted the events which had brought them back together, each withheld parts of their story.
Jeez.
Salem, fearing Ozma would reject her, blamed the end of the world on the gods. Ozma, still unsure of where the truth lay, kept his task and the relics a secret. Though time passed and all seemed well, Ozma's conversation with the god of light still lingered in his mind.
I mean, it
He
should.
had found happiness, but humanity seemed more divided than ever before.
Tell me about it.
Are you surprised? This world is quite literally godless. These humans have no one to guide them. Perhaps that's all they need.
What are you saying?
We could become the gods of this world.
Ah, there we
Our
go.
powers surpass all others. Our souls transcend death.
I can't die. You get reincarnated.
Whatever we want. What you want.
I'm the Ganon. You're the Link.
Old gods could not.
The hearts of men are easily swayed.
Okay. All right. I have to say, I mean, it looked pretty okay right there. This never goes in the right area.
The two amassed a following. That following grew into a prosperous kingdom. And at the head of that kingdom blossomed a family.
Huh. Wow. Oh, wow. Wow. No, seriously, wow. War still happens, though. That just sort of, oh, wow. That's a really just empty plane of just nothing.
Are we sure this is right?
You said we needed to bring humanity together. In order to do that, we have to spread our word and destroy those who will deny it.
What are we doing?
What the alright.
This isn't what he asked of me.
No, here we
What
go.
did you say?
Mother! Father! Look!
I can do magic!
It was a miracle. Their children could perform magic. But
Because...
what should have been a joyous occasion was short-lived. Ozma told Salem everything. The true reason the God of Light had brought him back. The relics that lay scattered around the world. And the day of judgment he had been told to prepare for.
And right now we're not
Don't you
looking too
see?
good.
None of that matters anymore. Why spend our lives trying to redeem these humans when we can replace them with what they could never be?
Oh. Stepping back. Not taking it anymore.
Mommy?
The only thing that bothers me about these kids is their heads. That is the only thing. I think their heads are a little too big for their bodies. That's it. Oh. Oh my god.
We finally had freedom.
Jesus.
Thus began a long and painful cycle of death and rebirth for Ozma. Some lives were spent in mourning. Many were spent attempting to forget it all. But no matter what,
yeah.
his mind would eventually turn back to the task he had been burdened with. And as the centuries went on, Ozma began to learn the importance of living with the souls with which he had been paired. But no matter where or how he lived, her presence was always felt.
This is a horrible
If humanity
existence.
were ever to stand a chance of being united,
I'm gonna whack the hell out of him.
clear.
He had to destroy Salem.
Knowing he could never rid the world of her through any mortal means, Ozma sought out the power of the relics. Armed with my knowledge, he believed he could fulfill his promise to the god of light.
That's so awesome. Terrible in certain aspects,
Where are
but
the
awesome.
other relics?
He asked me his questions,
What powers do they possess?
and though I gave him my answers,
How do I destroy Salem?
not all of them were to his liking. You can't.
Whoa! Oh! I knew that had to be one of the. That was in my head. Jesus Christ! Are you serious? How do we win? You don't. Jesus Christ! Oh, they had some good. Oh, Jesus, fantastic! Oh my God, this is so good! Okay. Look, okay. If I had to say anything, I will say, Volume 4, 5 did not, keep me as interested as I am with these 3 episodes alone. And I am willing to admit that. Why? Because I like great storytelling. And this is definitely getting up there. If it's one thing I like about certain stories, is how they build up their world and how they present it. And right now, I was really ticked that we didn't get much information about Salem throughout the courses of what we got to see. We just got, her personality, and that's pretty much it. And that she's just a no-nonsense, I'm evil. But now, we get her full background, and we get to understand her a little bit more. And really, it's in a weird, I'm not going to say gray area, I say it's a dark gray area. Like a really, really, really dark gray area. One, when you have gods, and you know they exist, and you know they have them, because, in our day and age, we can be right or wrong about a certain thing. You don't know many people who died, came back, and said, yeah, you know what? Everything we know is wrong, everything we know is right, because there's many different people who have very different experiences, near-death experiences like that and whatnot. So, when you actually have a world, and you have a good god, and you have a, god that is all about, if you have a god that's all about life, and a god that's all about death, they're there. Respect them. They kind of made you. So that's one aspect, but it does remind me of JoJo Part 8. For those people who do not know JoJo Part 8 or do not care, let me just give you the summarized version of a certain character. I'm gonna put it in vague terms because I don't like being a spoiler of a guy. This reminds me of something in Part 8 where you see a character who wanted to get something from gods. And who wanted to have a favor done from gods, but each action has an equal and opposite reaction. Whatever happens that is good needs to happen with bad. So, in Salem's case, she wanted to bring someone back to life, but the opposite reaction would be very detrimental to the balance. So they didn't want to do it. The death god's like, sure, I'll do it. But the whole mismatch thing is definitely there, and he's like, you need to correct the mistake. He's there. Now, I'm surprised at how lenient the good god was, and I don't like calling him the good god because the death god didn't seem to be bad. He's just doing his job as the death god, as it were. So let's just say creation god was like, okay, listen, this is your punishment. You're gonna be immortal. Being immortal sucks. Trust me, living forever is not the greatest thing. If you ever have to ask for a superpower, never ask for immortality. It is like the worst thing you ever ask for in your entire life. And just because you think you're gonna have a good time being alive forever, trust me, it's not good. It's not good. You're gonna want to die at some point. It is a thing. And Death God's like, okay, sure, do that. Salem's like, I'm going to use his immortality to my advantage, sway the hearts of men, and allow them to go against their gods. And unlike saying God sucks in our world, where almost 99% of the time nothing happens, in this world, you do try to fight your gods, they wipe out all of humanity. Or at least one of them does. And creation god's like, okay, hey, Oz, buddy, dude, boy, your girlfriend's like, I don't know, kind of psychopathic. I'm gonna give you this curse. Here's like the thing. I don't know what's worse. You pick one in the comment section. You pick one. Which is worse, being reincarnated forever or being immortal? Because when you're immortal, you keep your body the same way. But when you're reincarnated, you're always going to be a different person at some point in time. Now, when it comes to immortality, if you don't want to be like a child one day, for reincarnation, then you have that. But then again, you get to have other experiences than the experiences that you have on your own. And also, it depends on how see, immortality is all about perseverance, while being reincarnated is all about adaptivity. Because Ozpin had to learn how to live with the bodies that he had to be with, live with their families, protect their kids, do that sort of thing, and always be prepared for when that body has to die. He's like, okay, this body's pretty old, I'm gonna die soon, I'm gonna do some tweaks to my cane, put it somewhere that I know that my reincarnated body can get to. I like that resourcefulness on that front. I found that to be really intriguing. Now, it was an eye-opening experience because I had a conversation with Josh and one of Josh's friends, Treehands, and we had a conversation about Salem, and I was like, I believe that Salem was the chick in the intro, and I was happy I was right about that. As for another thing about the Salem being trick in the intro, we made jokes, and I think Tristan did a horrible job trying to not be spoiler, but he kind of was at the same time. He was kind of being like a William, in a sense. The topic came up about the moon, and we're like, how did the moon get destroyed? I bet it was Salem's fault. I bet Salem did that. And technically, if you do the process, yes, it was Salem's fault that the moon got, like, shattered like that. So, yay for that front. As for what I brought up, as like, I wanted to know Salem's like thing, because I wanted to know Salem's like background, and my first instance of a background was it was either she was corrupted, or she had good ambitions that led down a path of evil, and I'm right on both sides, technically. The good ambitions part, she just wanted her husband back, or boyfriend, whatever. She just wanted Oz back, and the gods wouldn't give her what she wanted. Then she was so selfish, instead of just waiting for her time to die, to go into the afterlife with him, she forced an army and now basically ruined her life, and inadvertently ruined Ozpin's life as well. It's very sad, actually. It's like, do you believe Oz deserved this? Like, it's kind of like, spoilers for part 5 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's kind of like the main bad guy in that, who is currently going through a horrible situation forever now, due to his decisions of fighting someone who could put him in that state. If you could die forever, in an endless loop of death forever, that sucks. Being reincarnated forever is basically like the same thing, except your deaths are more drawn out. And with that, Oz did not, in some cases, Oz did not deserve this torment that he's currently going through right now. This is utter torment. All he was a nice, humble knight who saved the woman. This woman and him, they fell in love and went with each other. It's Salem's fault for being so clingy that she would go up against the gods themselves to make them so pissed off to wipe out humanity. And then the creation god is like, hey, you're gonna do this now. Have fun. That's it. Oz did nothing wrong. So when this comes back, Oz just wanted to keep things secret, wanted to just do it because he believed it was the right course of action. But throughout this entire backstory, depending on what you guys think, I believe Oz did nothing wrong. The only thing he did wrong was the only thing he technically did wrong was going back into his ambitions of thinking that they could be a couple again, and they were a couple again for a decent amount of time until, well, things went south. But in the end, he did try to do the right thing. He did try his best to be like, okay, this is what we need to do, and this is the best way to do it. He got one of the relics of knowledge, and he asked the questions he needed to ask, and one of the questions were, you can't. So, basically saying in this episode, Talk no Jutsu needs to be the proper way to do it. Oh god, I can't believe I'm saying that with certainty. Look, when you have the knowledge goddess tell you that you cannot beat the main bad guy of your verse, the only thing you can do is Talk no Jutsu. You have to use words. You have to get on her sentimental side. You have to appeal to her better nature. to then realize that you could surprise me. You could surprise me. You could somehow find a way to do it. But literally, it seems to be the only option. This is going to be something. This is definitely going to be something. Okay? Look, I'm not going to say the series is going to be bad if they had used Talk No Jutsu. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's currently the only option. And granted, I think it's the only way you can do it. So, that's just it. When Oz and Salem were starting to fight, I'm like, you're fighting an immortal being with a person who cannot die, granted, so your life is there. But those poor kids. Those poor kids. Those poor kids. Now, here's the thing about those kids, though. They show them die off-screen. And that's a very important thing to say. Off-screen. We have absolutely no clue. Maybe one of them survived. One of my first immediate things that came to my mind was that one of these kids survived, and then their offsprings that they were able to make a life, and they made offsprings, and those offsprings then, you know, went down the line, and then one of the offsprings became Ruby. And that would explain something with Silver Eyes, because right now we still got no answer for Silver Eyes. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. I have no like proof or backs of the claim. That's just the first thing that came to my mind as soon as I saw those kids. I'm like, why bring up kids if you're just gonna have the emotional value of them killing them during their fight? There has to be something with that. That's my take on the matter. So with that being said, they have one question left after all this, and since they already have the question of how to beat Salem and that they can't, what would be a question for them to ask that would help them beat Salem? Because asking how the Destroyer didn't work, so I guess would be the only thing. I guess the only way to beat Salem would be to get all the relics, get the gods over here, hopefully they're nice, I highly doubt it, and then they take care of Salem themselves, which is probably not the case. So, who knows? We'll see what happens. So this is going to be University next time. This has been great. This has been fantastic. I'm loving this so far, and I'm really excited for this series all over again. I'm happy I'm able to actually show it to you guys. Greatness. Later.